Yo dudes! Welcome to delicious upside down blood orange cake.
This is a real centerpiece cake that celebrates the transition from winter to summer. It's beautiful, it's magnificent.
It's vegan, it's dairy free, and it's not gluten free.
Yeah, it's not gluten free, there you are.
It is
anyway,
delicious,
let's make it.
This is a super popular recipe on our recipe club, which we'd love you to consider joining. It's only $2.99 a month, and it's amazing.
And details down below in the description. First up, we're gonna make our syrup. So into our pan, we've got 100 grams of a plain caster sugar. In with that, we've got 60 ml of water, and we're gonna bring that together until you get kind of this light sand-like texture.
And the trick here now is just to leave it sit. We're gonna leave this sit without touching it until it starts to color lightly.
And if you are worried, give it a little rattle. Give it a little rattle, but do not stir it. The hardest part, I believe, of making caramel is not stirring it and showing that patience. So just, if you are feeling a little bit impetuous or a little bit, just give it a little rattle. Okay, it's starting to go ever so slightly golden. You'll see it around the middle. Time to add in our plant-based butter just before it starts to turn into caramel.
We've got 60 grams of plant-based butter.
Just be careful adding this.
So butter itself is about 40% water. So we're just gonna heat this lightly and evaporate some of that water so that then it just gets, you're really concentrating the syrup. We're ready to go.
That is
okay,
good.
so we've got our syrup / caramel ready to go. This is an upside down cake, so obviously this is gonna go in the bottom.
So this is an 8-inch or 20 centimeter
springform cake tin.
In it goes.
We've lined it with some baking parchment and we're gonna add in our syrup down the bottom.
So just give that a little spread around so it's all evenly distributed. We're gonna take our blood oranges. These are Sicilian organic blood oranges. So try to use organic because it means there's not gonna be any plastic resin on the outside.
And plastic meaning any pesticides or herbicides.
But
or
also,
fungicides.
Also they can have a wax.
A wax, yeah.
Okay, take a small little serrated knife and we're gonna slice them into small little fine slices. And this is the bit that turns this cake into almost like a marmalade-like cake, I always think. Because you're getting, it's the pectin in the skin that helps.
Are you best using you best using a bread knife or a small serrated knife?
Yeah, use a serrated knife. Okay, great, that's looking good.
Okay, so we're literally just gonna spread these out. Yeah, so this is literally just.
So you could do them in a nice decoration if you want. I kind of tend to just go straight down with layers and try to bring it right to the edge so that you've got kind of a
consistent layer. Okay, so we've done our first two steps.
And when they do start to get to the end of the season, like, it's so soft, like you can nearly eat the skin. Beautiful. Anyway, right. Okay, we're gonna make our batter now to put on top and to bake this upside down. So one of the keys to making a light, spongy batter here is that we're using some plant-based yogurt. We're using coconut yogurt, and we're gonna put some chopped pistachio through it because I think the combination of blood orange and pistachio is just magnificent.
Yeah.
So I have 80 grams of shelled pistachio nuts. I'm gonna roughly chop these just to go through the batter. They provide a light little crunch, a kind of speck of color, and just a little bit of a nuance of flavor.
So pistachios you can buy shelled like this. I find that a lot easier than buying them in their shells and salted.
Lazy Davey,
it's just easier.
Yeah, pretty good.
But if you can't find pistachios, what else would you use here, Steve?
I made it the other day with cashew nuts, so you could use any type of nut.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 200 grams of self-raising flour, and we've got about, I think it's 170 grams of caster sugar.
Yeah, perfect, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure and sieve my caster sugar. I just want it to be super kind of fine. I don't want any clumps. Sometimes it does clump.
Next up, we have our roughly chopped pistachios. Oh, so pretty, so pretty.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then we have our baking powder and baking soda. This is, although we've used self-raising flour, it's just gonna give us just a slightly lighter cake.
And there really only is a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and or 3/4 and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. So baking soda obviously needs an acid to react with it, hence our coconut yogurt.
So dry ingredient comes together. While Dave's mixing them, I'm gonna make a flax egg. So flax egg, in case you're wondering, it's just gonna function as a binder and help hold this cake more together. I've got 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and in on top, I'm gonna add in 6 tablespoons of water. I'll leave that sit for a minute just until it coagulates. Probably about 2 to 3 minutes. It'll just come together and really help hold this cake together. Okay, next up, we're gonna mix our wet ingredients together. We have 100 ml of blood orange juice or normal orange juice. I've got 100 ml of coconut yogurt or yogurt of choice. We've got 100 ml of sunflower oil or of a neutral tasting vegetable oil. That's the main fat for the cake. And then we have our flax egg, which you'll see is kind of come together nicely.
And literally for the blood orange juice, I just squeezed 3 blood oranges through a sieve, and that was approximately 100 ml orange juice.
Now make it well in the middle and wet and dry together. Okay, mix our dough together until it comes like just a well homogenized dough. Fancy
There's
words.
no dry bits, there's no dry chunks of flour in it.
If you are looking for this recipe and other recipes like this, check out our recipe club.
We've got over 600 plus recipes. There's thousands of members. It's an amazing support group, all about supporting you to eat more plant-based. It's done in our app where there's recipes, meal plans, shopping lists, and loads of resources to help you. And it's only $2.99 a month. There's a link in the description to learn more about it.
What temperature is the oven?
So on our recipe club here, 175 degrees.
Okay,
There we
bake
go.
for 50 to 55 minutes until a skewer comes out clean. Okay, it's been 52 minutes to be precise. Looks pretty good. Let's just check the skewer. Just stick a skewer and see that it comes out
Okay,
clean.
just use a chopstick. Chopsticks work great. Perfect. Look at that. Not a bit of dough on it. That is perfect. So we're gonna leave that cool for 15 minutes. And now it's cool. We've cooled it for 15 minutes. Just get a knife and clean around the edges just so that we can remove it from the springform tin. And just be careful here. We're gonna open it up here first. Ready? Oh, yes, that came out nicely. Yeah, it feels good. We're gonna pop the board on top. 3, 2, 1. Take the board off. You'll see it has fallen here. Let's take that out. And this is the fun bit. Oh, look at that! Beautiful. I'm gonna drop over some pistachios while it's still nice and warm. Just a few, less is more here. It just provides that bit of texture. And I think the contrast is lovely, and I think it instinctively lets people know there's pistachios in it. Okay, so while you're cutting this, or when you're cutting this, just be careful because the peel of the orange is a little bit harder. So take a sharp knife and just be deliberate in your cuts. And I'm gonna serve this with a little bit of coconut yogurt. I also think, if you're into Paddington Bear, I always think this is like a pistachio marmalade cake. Like in that the blood orange just provides this kind of beautiful, like, sweet, look at that. It's like a caramel backdrop, a blood orange marmalade backdrop. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the wonderful upside down blood orange cake. And obviously if you can't get blood oranges, just use normal ones. But this is amazing, it really, really is. As we said, we've got a recipe club. We'd love you to consider joining. It's only $2.99 a month, more than 600 recipes. It's amazing, an amazing community to support you to eat more plant-based.
Yeah, to eat more veg.
And as we said, we're Dave and Steve from the Happy Pear. We're all about supporting you to eat more veg. Thanks a million for watching. Bye. Cheers.